Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. And we are here today to discuss the January transfer window. We are only a few days in, and already we are starting to see a bit of movement from Arsenal, which is good. But before we get into that, and I am joined by a special guest again today, but before we get into that, copyright, man. Copyright is a bitch at times. Some of you may have noticed that one of my videos was removed due to copyright. It's a joke, really. A 10-second clip is all I put in that video. And the video was over an hour long, and they wanted to copyright me for that. But it is now available for you to go and check out on YouTube. I've edited that bit out and re-uploaded it. So please, if you haven't seen it yet, my preview to the West Brom Arsenal game, go and check that out. So, transfer window. I am joined by my guy. He's been on the channel a couple of times before, and if one good thing came out of 2020 to me, you know, I gained a friend as well, and I call this guy a friend of mine now. Not just a fellow Arsenal fan, but a friend. Here he is. Egal, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Yo, man, thanks for the kind words.
You're on mute, brother.
Am I? Can you hear me?
Oh no, you're all right. You're all right now. You're all right now, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say thanks for the kind words, man. I really appreciate it. And you know what? If anything good came out of this year, is all the people that I've met through content creation and everything else, and all the new friends that I've made, such as yourselves. And thank you for this, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. Just give me 2 seconds.
There you go.
There we go.
Skills in the house.
So, January transfer window. We're a couple of days in. We're starting to see a little bit of movement at Arsenal. Good things going on. Well, some good things going on. Few outgoings. One guy who has already left to go on loan. Sead Kolasinac. What do you make of that?
Ooh, Sead Kolasinac, the Hulk. He came in, made an instant impact in that Community Shield game, and then ever since, everything just went downhill. So it goes to show you, when you come in, we have such high expectations for you. We watch your highlights, we say, "Oh, what a player! This is that," and then when we actually see you play, that's when everything starts to go downhill. Like, he's never lived up to expectations of being the best left back or left wing back in the Bundesliga. It was kind of unfair to criticize him at the beginning when he wasn't really getting game time as a left wing back. When he was playing as a left back, he was when he was playing as a left back, he was bad. When he was playing a left wing back, he was decent. He can get forward, he can attack. To me, I'm one of the crazy people who said we should try to play him in a different position. I thought he would be a good DM. I don't know what you think about that, but I thought his physicality and his ability to get forward and his defensive ability would suit the DM role more than it would suit the role where you have to be one-on-one against a defender. And that is why I feel like he never made it at the club, because he's just not. He has the touch of an MLS player. That is where he was let down. His touch is so poor. A baby elephant has a better footballing touch. Let's be honest. That's just what it was.
It's amazing, really, though, isn't it? Because when he joined us, yes, he joined us on a free, but he was also part of the Bundesliga team of the season that year, ahead of David Alaba, ahead of everybody else. And it was just like, we're getting a decent player here. When he first came in, he had a good couple of performances. Everybody started nicknaming in the tank. And since then, he's just turned into Thomas the Tank, hasn't he? You know, choo choo, and that's about it. Yeah, so that's one player off the books. I think he was taking over £100,000 per week as well, which is just madness. It just shows how like how much money Arsenal offer these bang average players. It's ridiculous.
Free transfers are not always free. That's
That's
the
true.
best way to put it. It
Yeah,
costs you
that's
something at the
true.
end of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Now
like
we're
him
moving.
though. I like him though. He's gonna do well for Schalke, and you know what? He's gonna be their captain. He's gonna go back there and he's gonna captain the side. He's gonna start as their. He's gonna go. They've already named him the captain, so he's going there to do something.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen, but Schalke, I think they're actually like bottom of the league, aren't they? You know, um, so they must be desperate, especially if they're naming him captain before he's even joined. Um, but at the same time, let's say Schalke do get relegated. Could you see him coming back to Arsenal?
His contract's up.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So, and also Schalke are historically the third biggest team in Germany, kind of like ourselves. So I guess he's going from one relegation side to another.
It doesn't mean anything, does it? You could be the third biggest team in whatever country, but it don't mean anything to us at the moment, you know.
Schalke,
Um,
Schalke were one of the best teams in Europe back in the
yeah.
day. It just goes to show you how far they've fallen. If another owner came in and bought that team, they'll skyrocket.
Mm.
They'll be back. Look at what happened with Leipzig. They came from non-league almost.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Um, moving on to the next player. Now, a lot of fans, are calling for this guy to be sacked today because reports have come out that during a meeting, they made the decision to allow William Saliba to leave Arsenal Football Club. Now, we all knew this was coming. He's not been playing. He's been playing for the under-21s. He was not registered for the Europa League side. You know, we knew it was coming, but there is also a hint there that he could possibly move on permanently. What do you make of that one?
I'm just gonna channel my inner Donald Trump and say it's fake news. No, it's not happening. It's fake news. We can't listen to that. It's fake news. You see, these news companies, they lie. They tell us bullshit. They do media spin, the agendas. Don't believe it, people. It's fake news.
Fake news. Okay. Okay. Do you still think he'll leave on loan or?
You see, a loan is the same thing as a permanent deal, but you get to bring the player back. So fake news, not happening. In my opinion, is not happening. Anyways, let's
Oh,
go.
okay.
Now you're talking to Egal again. Now, really and truly, let's be real. We are absolutely joking if we think we're going to sell this guy without ever letting him kick a ball for Arsenal. That's ridiculous. You're not going to spend 30 million pounds on a player, bring him in, and then let him leave without ever kicking a ball. Absolutely not happening. Never going to happen. We are not that silly.
Well, just to flip that on its head a little bit, could there be a possibility that they brought this guy in for £30 million? They've realised that he's not ready to play for Arsenal right now. They've also probably sat there and gone, we've already got 6 or 7 centre backs as it is. We've got Rob Holding, we've got David Luiz, Mustafi, these players. Could it be where they're just thinking, do you know what? He's not going to get into the side this year. And there's a possibility that we could make some money off of him and invest it elsewhere in like areas that we do need, like midfield, for example. Could that be a possibility?
Brendan, Arsenal Football Club does not spend 30 million on a player, ship him out the next year without ever seeing him kick a ball for Arsenal Football Club. That is not going to happen. In addition to that, we have David Luiz running out of his contract. Socrates could be leaving in January. Mustafi will be leaving. Kolasinac has already left the club. You have Chambers could possibly be leaving. Rob Holding will be re-signing a new deal. Gabriel's already here. We have Mavropanos possibly could be leaving. So to me, there is a lot of room for Saliba in the squad. He could even be staying on loan to a team within the English pyramid. I don't think he's going to be leaving the UK this January window. I think he's going to stay within the UK. He's going to get loaned out to a team within the UK, and to me, that is where he's going to see his future. His future is going to lie at like going to a Brentford on loan for the remainder of the season, and then coming back to Arsenal starting next year. And that's where we're going to see the best of him. Right now, I don't think so. I don't think he's going anywhere because we've already told AC Milan to run up. We've told Inter Milan to run up. We've told Schalke and all these other clubs to run up because we're not sending him on loan to any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Because if we were going to send him to any Tom, Dick, or Harry, there's plenty of teams in the Premier League that would be interested in him.
Okay. So do you just think it's just a situation where he's just not ready to come into the Arsenal side, and that's why they're sending him out on loan?
No. I feel like there is a plethora of things that have happened to him in his personal life, losing both his family members, also being adjusting to the English game, speaking to not being able to speak the language, not being able to speak the language well yet, also just getting up to scratch with everything going on over here. And finally, I would say they messed up because he was supposed to go on loan. He was not supposed to be here. The loan deal fell through on the final day, Brendan, of not the summer window. The deal fell through on the final day of the English window for loan deals. We were supposed to loan him out to a championship side. It was pretty much done. They didn't file the paperwork in time, and to Arteta and the board, he was already registered as a loanee for that season. So don't tell me he's not ready. When he is ready to play, it's just they have not played him because of the situation that they put themselves in. They tied their hands behind their back and they said, unfortunately, he will be leaving on loan. And when his loan fell through, we look like an absolute idiot.
Okay. We'll move on from that negative side of things.
You're calling me negative.
Well, it's a negative thing, isn't it? You buy a player for 30 million, you expect them to play. Really, it's not like we're tearing it up in the league. It's not like we're top of the league. We're 13th at the end of the day. So I don't know how this kid can't get in there. But
we're only 6 points off. We're only 6 points. 6 points off fifth. So we might be 13th.
Funnily enough, I have got a picture of the league table that I'm going to bring up a little bit later, and we'll discuss about that. But we're going to move on to this guy, Socrates. Looks like he's going to be leaving. Fenerbahce are seriously interested in him. What do you make of that?
Out the door.
See you later.
You see, that's my door. He needs to go out that door. He needs to leave. Let him go. Because you know what? I like this. You know what Arteta's doing? He's doing what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did at Manchester United. He's cleaning the house. He's cleaning the house. He's taking the garbage. He's taking the garbage. He's crumpling it up and he's throwing it out the door. Like, woo! That's what he has to do. Because in my opinion, what he's been doing lately has been he's addressed the situation. He sees that we have too big of a squad. We have too many players, and it causes unrest within the squad when you have too many players that are not playing. Look at what's going on at Southampton. Southampton had a 30-man squad. Hasenhuttl came in and said, you know what? Send half of these guys on loan. He sent 4 guys on loan. He sold like 4 of them. Then he bought in 5 of his own players. And then now he has a settled squad. Look at how Southampton are flying. In my opinion, you clean house, you do what skill says, you clean the house, you get your stuff in order, you make the bed, you make everything look pretty, and then you add new accessories to make everything finished and look pretty at the end. Because right now, until we can clean what we have at home, we can't go to the store to go buy new clothing, new bed sheets, new furniture, because everything's just a mess.
Okay. And just to reverse back right to the beginning of the season again, obviously Socrates was one of the players who was left out of the 25-man squad. Was you surprised to see Socrates left out instead of somebody like Mustafi, whose contract is up, who's already said that he's not going to be signing a contract at Arsenal? Are you surprised that Arteta didn't put him in the 25-man squad just to see if we could get a bit of extra money for him.
The moment I seen Socrates at the corner flag against Leeds as a right back holding the ball for 30 minutes, I knew at that moment he was done as a center back. Because you can't tell me that Leeds game that we played last year in the FA Cup that Socrates couldn't have gotten in as a center back, but somehow he's playing as a right back. And from that moment onwards, I knew that his career as a center back at Arsenal was finished.
Okay.
Once Arteta came in, that's what he decided that.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're going to move on to another player of ours, Mesut Ozil. Now, Arteta was asked in his press conference if there was a possibility that Ozil could come back into the squad in January, and he said, of course, I don't know. Do you see Mesut Ozil moving on from the squad in January, or do you think he could possibly come back into the 25-man squad? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I'll give you 80%. Fabrizio Romano said 90% chance Mesut Ozil leaves in January. I'll believe him, and I'll say there's a 90% chance that he leaves in January. 10% chance he stays, and that 10% chance that he stays is split up into 10% that 5% he might not be able to find a move, 5% he might just want to stay in for the end of his contract. We don't know. Sorry.
That's all right. If he does stay though, do you think he will be reinstated into the 25-man squad?
Never.
Do you not think? No.
Never.
Okay.
If I speak anymore, I get in trouble. So let's just pull a Mourinho. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Okay. So moving on to the next player, another player that Arsenal have been linked with, a player who I quite like, and a player who is certainly gettable in the January transfer window. Emi Buendia. What do you make?
Oh man, this guy is the G. You know what? He's such a nice player that he scored a goal for Norwich on his final game. What a nice guy, right? He scored a goal today for Norwich for his final appearance for the Norwich. He's going to be an Arsenal player, hopefully. I pray to God that this guy comes in as Arsenal for this window. This is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing our valuation for the player is 15 million. Their valuation for the player is 30 million. If we can meet them and get him in the door for 25, both parties would be happy with that. So to me, 25 million pounds signing a player who was the most creative player per 90 minutes last season. Okay. He was created the third most chances after Kevin De Bruyne and Trent Alexander-Arnold. And he's ranked as highly as Jack Grealish in creation in the Championship and in the Premier League and in the English flight. So out of the whole English top flight, in the past 2 seasons, he's been one of the best. Let's just say the season when they got promoted until now, Kevin De Bruyne, Jack Grealish, Madison, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Robertson have been the most creative players. And to me, that is good company to be a part of. And he would fit right in, and he would raise the levels of our team. And to me, the biggest thing about him, Brendan, is his work ethic. He comes into our team and immediately has the most work ethic, and he wants to improve. He's the kind of person who stays behind after a loss and just takes free kicks to try to get better at free kicks. Who just stays behind and takes what do you call it? Takes those those passing dummies where you pass to yourself. He just keeps doing that off the wall at training. He was one of the people at Norwich after the COVID happened. He came back and he was in better shape than he was before COVID. So it just goes to show me he has a work ethic and the behavior to improve as a player, and that's what we want. We need more people speaking to the coaches and finding out what their mentality is, rather than just going to a player and be like, oh, he has 10 goals, 10 assists. He's a good player. Let's bring him in. And then he comes and doesn't do shit.
I have to agree with you, mate. I have to agree 100%. It's a typical Arsenal deal as well. £25 million is not really a drop in the ocean for that type of player. And also, like you said, I do think we need to start looking at players' mentality. But at the same time, I'm going to blame Arsenal Football Club anyway, because don't you think that when we go and buy these players, we give them far too high wages, and these players just know, it's all right. I don't have to care about the football club. I'm taking 150 grand a week. Whereas as if I was elsewhere, I wouldn't be taking that sort of money. And I do think we create that sort of problem for ourselves by overpaying average players. But yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. We do need to start looking at players' mentalities as well as their ability. And £25 million, mate, I'd take him all day long. Obviously, the dream for me is Jack Grealish, but you're looking at £100 million to prize him away from Aston Villa, 100%. So we're going to move on to another player who I think, right, is gettable. He's gettable in this window. And if we could get Buendia and we could get this player as well to play in our midfield, I think it changes the whole aspect of our team completely. Next to Thomas Partey, Bissouma. Now, when we played Brighton last week, and I watched this guy, and I watched him closely, his technical ability, as well as the fact that his positional sense is very, very good as well. He's very strong. And he's a young man as well. He looks very similar to a Thomas Partey, funnily enough. He screens the defence well. And like I say, he's got good technical ability as well. And I don't think he'd cost that much. And like I say, you put a Buendia, a Bissouma and a Thomas Partey in the midfield, that changes the whole aspect of this team completely. What do you reckon?
To me, if we were able to get a Buendia and a Bissouma, I think we're back. We could get ourselves back up the table quite quickly next season, and up and running. If we start doing those kind of recruitments within the English game, that will improve our team dramatically. Because if you look at the teams like Liverpool, what they did was they went for talent within the English game to improve their form. And those kind of players, they don't take as long to adjust. And it would be a really good signing. And I would be really happy with that. Like right now, if we were to have spent the extra 8 million to get a Zaha instead of Pepe, who knows where we'd be? Because we know Zaha is a much better player than Pepe. So it just goes to show you, sometimes you have to spend the extra money on the quality players that have already proven themselves than the unknown and the bad recruitment. Now, when you say the wages, I don't think the wages is going to be a problem with these guys, because these kind of guys, it's similar to Van Dijk. You're buying them from a lower level teams, so they're already not on too much of a high wages. The problem we make is we go and buy players from like Isco from Real Madrid. We'll bring him in and we'll put him on 200K a week, and he'll come into our team and get injured and not play a game. Where we'll bring a Buendia in, he's currently on 45K. We'll put him on 90. And guess what? He's making the same money as Bellerin, and he'll be our new signing, middle of the park, creating like Ozil.
Yeah,
so that is what we need to do.
I agree with you again. Speaking of the fella himself, there has been talk of Isco from Real Madrid. Apparently, Arteta is a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of Isco as well. He's a very good player. Although recently he has not been, he's not really been playing for Real Madrid. It looks like he's going to leave in this transfer window. The only thing that worries me about Isco is his high wages. The fact that we'd be bringing him in on probably a 6-month loan. And not only that, but he's never played in the Premier League before, and you just don't know how this guy's going to settle in. What do you make of that transfer rumour?
Don't want him. Don't want nothing to do with Isco. Listen to me clearly. If we bring in Isco, we are going backwards as a club. We already have Dani Ceballos here. First of all, send Dani Ceballos back to Real Madrid. Let him go back. Just play Torreira, right? Now, next, when it comes to Isco, Isco has a very, very bad injury history. He's not a young player anymore, in my opinion. And to me, if you have questions about Julian Brandt, but you're willing to bring in Isco, you're not really thinking about yourself realistically in footballing terms. If you want to go to Real Madrid and bring a player in, that's not the player you need. You know what you need? You need to go to get their young players. Get a Vinicius Jr. Go get a Rodrigo, but Rodrigo got injured. Go get what's his name? What's that other winger they have? the left winger who got injured in the preseason with us with the knee injury last summer. Uh,
Dennis Suarez.
no, not Dennis Suarez. Dennis Suarez plays for he used to play for Barcelona. Not
The
Dennis
left.
Suarez. Dennis Suarez was on loan with us. What do you mean? I forget. I'll check it out in a second. But Isco's not the Real Madrid player that I would be looking at. I would go get, if I was going to get Real Madrid players, I would look at their youth. Real Madrid's youth players that they have are ballers. And you know what? We don't have a lot of creative midfielders besides Emil Smith Rowe coming through the ranks, right? So if
Yeah.
we were to get that Swedish kid, they have this Norwegian kid who's rated as high as Holland, and he's just rotting away in their academy. He's not getting any game time at Real Madrid right now. Real Madrid have so much young talent that they don't have to buy a young player for the next 3 seasons. They still have up and coming youngsters. Like they have Rodrigo, they have Vinicius Jr., they have what's his name? That guy, Odegaard, Martin Odegaard.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They Luka Jovic is still there. Marcelo is Asensio is still there. Asensio is a friggin' baller, right? They have Moreno, striker, right? They have young Brazilian in Milito. They have Nacho, the defender, still there. They also have guys who've been there for a long time who just haven't been doing it for them, such as what's that winger? What's the other guy? Oh, they got rid of him. No, Lucas Vasquez, he's still there. They just have so many pieces that are still around, just sitting around there, not doing nothing for them. Even one of their backup goalkeepers, I would think about bringing in. Like Real Madrid, you have so many options. If you go for Isco, you're basically going to a shopping mall, and the first person who says, "Here, buy this," you're like, "Okay, that's what we're doing."
You're looking at a short-term fix. That's all they're looking at. They're not looking to the future if they go and get him. Yeah, no,
You're going
100%.
to a flea market. You're going to a flea market, and somebody came up to you with a new luggage, and you ended up buying luggage when you came in there to buy shoes. That's what we're doing.
100%, 100%. We sort of touched on him a little bit there when you was talking. Julian Brandt has also been linked. However, the Borussia Dortmund director, I think it's Michel or Michael Zorc or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name personally, but he came out and he sort of dispelled them rumours today. He said that there has been no contact for Julian Brandt from Arsenal or any other club. Would you take Julian Brandt?
I have mixed feelings. Let me explain why. Julian Brandt's agent is also Per Mertesack's agent. So is it another agent situation? 2, Julian Brandt in the calendar year so far only has 2 assists, and he's played a total of 6 Champions League games and 13 Bundesliga games. So 2 assists in over 20 something games, right? Is that another problem? And then finally, they're asking for 35 million euros for a guy who is not even first choice for their team. So how much is going to improve us if you can't even get a game time at Dortmund, and there's a 16-year-old kid from America getting more game time than him?
Okay.
I'm not saying that kid is not amazing. I'm just saying it's another situation where we're just trying to take an easy answer. I feel like we haven't done our due diligence, because Julian Brandt was supposed to be highly rated German international, got into the World Cup over what's his face? Sane. He made the World Cup team over Sane, but he has not progressed. And we've also seen what happened with Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. They were flying in the Bundesliga. They came into Chelsea, they're struggling. So what makes you think we're going to bring in a player who's struggling in the Bundesliga and he's going to do well at Arsenal?
Yeah,
it's kind of another backward signing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And, we look at Buendia, we look at Basuma, and the one thing that I like the most about them two is that they've already played in the league. So they understand the league. And I've been calling for this for ages. I look at the way Klopp built Liverpool or rebuilt Liverpool, and the majority of his signings came from the Premier League. You know, players already knew the league. So you tend to have less signings that flop because they're already used to the Premier League. Whereas as you go to these foreign leagues, you can pick out their best players from loads of different squads, and there's just no guarantee that they're going to settle in the league. You're seeing it with Nicolas Pepe, you're seeing it with Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, you know, just a few to name really. So, you know, if it was me, I would love to go and get a right back as well during this transfer window. I don't think it will happen. I think that's more likely to happen in the summer. For me, you either go and get Tariq Lamptey or Max Aarons. If you had to choose between the two of them, which one would you go and
If
get?
I had to choose between the two of them, I would take Max Aarons because he's a cheaper option. But of course, right now, I wouldn't want a right back. I've told you this, Brendan. I would rather get a goalkeeper.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah.
Right, we're screwed royally if Leno gets injured.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. So just chuck us a couple of names. Like, what goalkeeper would you go for?
I would go for the Brentford goalkeeper. We're linked to, right? And I would even go to Manchester United and try to get Romero.
Okay.
I don't know if he would come to us, and he's on high wages also. And then maybe, call me crazy, but why not bring in another first level quality? Jack Butland is already at Crystal Palace, so we can't just say Jack Butland's name. I honestly don't know too many goalkeepers off the top of my head. Maybe go to the Bundesliga and grab, or no, forget about the Bundesliga. Maybe try to get, call me crazy, but I don't want to spend too much time on a backup goalkeeper. We just need a backup level goalkeeper that can push Leno. We don't need to worry too much about who that is. Just make sure he's high level quality at shot stopping and he can decent passing out the back. Because what we did was we got a goalkeeper who's good at passing out the back, but he can't stop a shot for shit.
I've got one in mind for you. What about Emi Martinez, Aston Villa?
Nah, you can't do that. Don't do that.
Oh dear, yeah. Go get Emi Martinez back.
I got a deal for you. Nicolas Pepe and 30 million for Jack Grealish.
Nicolas Pepe and 30 million for Jack Grealish.
If you're Aston Villa, would you do that deal?
No, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I think Jack Grealish brings far too much to Aston Villa's team. Whereas as Pepe, yes, Pepe is a good player on his day, but he doesn't have, you know, he's not the type of player like Grealish. Grealish, 9 times out of 10, he'll put in a 7 out of 10 performance plus. Whereas as Pepe, you know, you get the odd good performance from him, but it's not very often that you know, it's not a player you can rely on. So if I was
some other stuff, quick fire. Rob Holding getting a new deal. Good thing or bad thing? For me, it's a good thing.
It depends.
You're ready with that one.
It depends. It depends where. It depends whether we're looking at him as a first choice centre back or not. It depends if he's just going to be a squad player, which I think if he's just going to be a squad player, then fair enough. Yeah, give him a new contract. That's fine. And to be fair, over the last couple of games, he's not done too bad. But I do still feel like we need better than him 100%. What do you make of that?
I think he's been a good option off this season, and he's not going to be first choice every single week, but he's a decent enough center back that for now I'm happy with him staying over some of the other people that could have stayed. If it means David Luiz, Holding, Socrates are all gone by the end of the season, I'll be happy with that. Now, now, what do you think about? Where was I going with this? Come back to me. I lost it.
Are you going to talk about this guy by any chance?
Balogun, yes. Balogun over Eddie Nketiah for me.
100%. 100%. I watched your stream with, is it Tade or Tad?
Ted, yeah, Ted.
Earlier, and like he said, Eddie Nketiah has had his chance now, and it's time to give Balogun a chance. At the end of the day, why is a guy going to sign a new contract if you don't give him the opportunity to get in the first team? It's not like he came in and didn't do anything in the games that he was given the opportunity, and he came in and scored 2 goals. What more can you do? So
Yeah.
for me, he has to be given the opportunity. If you're not going to give him the opportunity, then obviously try and get a bit of money for him. Don't let him run his contract down. Just try and get a bit of money for him. But it could be a massive mistake in the long-term future, because I do think that this kid is very, very talented, and I do think he will become a top striker just from a couple of games that I've seen him in. I don't know how you feel about that. What do you reckon?
What do you think about the academy in general? Because we have a lot of players like Zach Medley, Daniel, Matt, what's his name, Matt Brent. We got Aziz. We have all these youngsters, but it's like, are they really going to get a chance in the squad?
It's difficult to tell, isn't it? Because at the moment, Mikel Arteta is giving certain young players the chance, like you see Aziz in the Europa League. I know it was only a cameo performance, but he did play. You see Nketiah, you see a bit of Balogun, Saka, Martinelli, Willock. But then the question is how much of this is down to the fact that he just doesn't have the options? Like, if he starts to get his own players in, will these young players still get the opportunity to break into the first team? I'm not sure. I mean, you look at who Arteta worked under, Guardiola. If things weren't going right, he never really offered the chance to the young players. You see it with Phil Foden at the moment. He's probably the best young player in the league. And he still doesn't really get that much of an opportunity. Guardiola would rather go and spend money and get his own player in. And I do think that you'll get that sort of thing with Mikel Arteta as well. If it's not working, bin the player, go and get a different one. I know we can't spend as much money as Man City, but I just feel like maybe these players, you're right, maybe they won't get as much of an opportunity when Arteta gets his squad together.
I'm going to share screen something for you, if you could put that up. This guy right here. Have you heard about Nikolai? They're talking about him. The signing we made, he's a striker. He's currently playing in the under-21s and under-23s. What do you think about him? Do you think he'll get his chances as for Arsenal? I put him in the share screen. If you want, you can show it.
Yeah. Where's the share screen?
Oh, are you on your phone?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I don't even know where you can find it on your phone. Same way you add us. You know how you added me? You should be able to add it from there.
Ah, right. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this kid's being linked to being the next Ibrahimovic. They're saying he's a really good striker. They're saying he's also a different option to all the strikers that we currently have. He is very good aerially because he's quite tall. Now, Nikolai Moller, what do you think? Do you think he could be the answer if Balogun does leave? It's going to be next man up, in my opinion. So immediately I would take this guy over Eddie. I would just say Eddie gotta go. Get this kid more chances.
If you had to choose between this kid and Balogun, which one for you would be?
Balogun, of course, because Balogun is higher in his development, and Eddie Nketiah is even higher in his development than this kid. But from Eddie Nketiah, we know what we have in him as a player. I would rather sell him to a Brighton or a Sheffield United or something like that, and try to get some money in, and then just graduate the next kid up, because
Okay.
in my opinion, at this point, we're wasting our time with Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I can't say I've seen really too much of this kid. Like, I know he's been linked to sort of Ibrahimovic type sort of player. And to be honest with you, the way we play, we could probably do with somebody who's tall, physical, can hold the ball up. So yeah, if Balogun leaves, I would probably go with that kid and give him an opportunity. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Before I ask you the final question, and I also wanted to get your views on tonight's game and a quick score prediction as well. But before I ask you the final question, I just want to go through a couple of comments. Lots of people have been commenting. I appreciate that. We've got Afdale Skills here who says, big up Brandon and Egal. Big up to you, my guy. He said, Isco, Aouar, and Zaha would be great signings. What do you make of that, Egal?
We're not going to get them all. Yeah, just pick one. That's what Arsenal you got to do. You got to pick one and run with it.
Would you take it, Aouar or Zaha?
I would take Awa in a heartbeat.
Okay, okay. Um, he also asks, Egal, what happened to that Arsenal show on the Football Terrace? I hope it's coming back.
Should be coming back soon. It's just right now everyone's been kind of busy.
Yeah, I mean, like, speaking of that, actually, I was going to ask you, do you ever rest? You know, because you always, whenever I see you, you've always got a live stream or you're making a guest appearance on other people's channels and that. You know, you're always working hard. Do you ever take time out from this, man? You know?
I do. Like I'm not gonna be streaming. Once I'm done here in like a couple minutes, I'm gonna be making food. I make fried chicken and like have some food with the wifey. And then after I make food, I'm gonna do my stream at 7. So from 7:30 to the end of the game, I'll be doing the stream. Then I'll be doing the football terrace. Then I'll do my match reaction, and then I'll go to bed. No, I won't go to bed. I'll be watching basketball.
That's
So I'll be
madness, man.
watching basketball. So that's what I do. And then when I work weekdays, if you haven't noticed, there's days where I don't do streams. But now that it's the transfer window, it's going to be probably I'll do like a one video. I've been doing a lot more 1 minute, 2 minute informational videos, but I feel like people don't really like those videos. They like the hour long live videos where they can interact. That's
Yeah,
the problem. So people don't really like the quick little videos where it's just me by myself. They want to be able to have a communication and an open dialogue with us.
yeah, yeah. I know how you're feeling, mate. Because I feel like, God, it's hard work, all of this, isn't it? You know, appreciate the hard work, people. Appreciate the hard work. We do it for you.
Yeah.
Doomdoll says, "What do you think of Saka?"
The opposite
Um,
of shit.
yeah, he's probably one of the best youngsters in the Premier League. I feel a little bit like
Him and
we're
Greenwood.
relying him or Greenwood.
Yeah.
Oh, Saka, Saka.
Same.
Yeah, all day long. Greenwood's a very good player, but Saka is carrying this Arsenal team at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What team selection do you guys want tonight? I said it earlier. I think we should stick with the same lineup. I'd ideally like to see Hector Bellerin and Granit Xhaka out of the squad. If Thomas Partey's fit, I would probably take Xhaka out of the squad and put Thomas Partey in. And I would change Aubameyang and Lacazette and put Aubameyang on the bench and start Lacazette up front. What do you
Yeah.
reckon, Miguel?
I would have Lacazette start, and maybe Martinelli can rest, and Aubameyang on the left, or and Ainsley Maitland-Niles possibly in the midfield for Elneny.
Okay, okay. Um, Egal and Brandon, if you guys only sign Buendia in January,
Sixth.
where will you finish?
Sixth.
Sixth. Okay. Buendia, just Buendia.
Sixth is realistic, man.
Do you know, I'm going to say eighth. And the only reason I'm going to say 8th is because I don't think just Buendia on his own is enough when you consider where we finished last season as well. So I would say probably around 8th. I think personally, right, that even if we don't get anybody in January, I still think we are going to finish in and around the mid-table area, sort of 10th to 12th. I know a lot of people are laughing at the moment and saying that we're in a relegation dogfight, but I don't see it. I just think we've got too much for certain teams in the league. Doomdall also says Lionel Messi, he's free. It's a midfielder. Jesus Christ, if only, yeah. Lionel Messi, imagine.
He would say no.
Yeah, he would say no. There's no way he'd be coming to Arsenal, not in this current state. Epic Nin says, Egal, you mentioned about the players leaving in the summer, but what makes you think he might not re-sign them, which has started with Rob Holding?
Rob Holding had 2 years left in his deal, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Cam says, Egal, that is rubbish. Fafana is his partner, and he is doing brilliant. It's just excuses.
I think I answered that already earlier.
Yeah, I think you might have done, mate. Can
I give you my predictions? Because I got to head out soon.
Yeah, yeah. But before we do that, I just want, you see me mention it on Tad's video earlier. Arsene Wenger. There are rumours, or should I say, the man himself, said that if he was required and Arsenal desperately needed him to come back, and Mikel Arteta was sacked, he would come back to help the team, even if that meant till the end of the season. What do you make of that?
Fake news. No, seriously, I think he has openly said he is willing to help the club if they ask for it, but he is not going to be coming back in any coaching capacity at all. So don't think he's coming back as a coach or as a mentor. He maybe come in like as a figurehead, but he can't work with the club as an actual body, because he's currently working with FIFA, and that would be breach of it would basically be like breaching the rules, because you can't have an affiliation with the club when you're in the middle of when you work for FIFA, right?
Couple of questions for you then.
Breaking news: Buendia was asked, after his latest goal, that what does he think about transfer rumors, and he said he's happy here, and I'm not worried about any speculations.
It could be a smoke screen. We've heard all of that before from certain players, so but just a couple of questions on Arsene Wenger. Number one, how come Arsenal have not built a statue of this guy just yet? I feel like he's one of the greatest managers in our history.
Still raw.
He should at least have a statue outside the stadium.
It's still raw. It's still very raw what happened with Arsene Wenger at the back end of last couple of years. So right now, it's not the right time. If we were winning, maybe. But we're doing so bad that if we put up a statue right now, people will go shit in front of it.
Okay. And also, let's say Mikel Arteta stays in charge of Arsenal, and Arsene Wenger decides that he doesn't want to be with FIFA is it FIFA? No, it's not FIFA. The FA anymore. He's not enjoying his role or whatever it is. Would you go and get Arsene Wenger back at Arsenal in some sort of role, whether that be like as a director or something like that? Do you think he should be affiliated with the club? Do you think there's a role there for him?
Not right now. It's still too raw. maybe in 4 or 5 years' time, but not right now.
Okay.
I feel like it's still too much from the back in the day situations.
Okay. Where are we? Right. Another comment here. Lacazette or Martial, who do you rate more?
Martial.
Okay. Partey and Aouar in midfield would be amazing.
100%.
Egal, how can we get sixth with one of El Neni or Xhaka in the side?
We're only 6 points off top. We're only 6 points off fifth, and we're only 9 points away from being second. So from being third. So people need to just look at the actual table and stop overreacting.
African Guna in the chat. Nice to see you here, man. He says Egal is bang on about the statue and return. I feel the same way. That's about Arsene Wenger. We got a question here for you as well, Egal. Egal, when are you going live?
I think I have it scheduled for 7:30 right now, don't I?
Okay. And I know you got to get off, mate. And I appreciate you coming on the stream. As always. Hopefully we'll get 3 points later on. But before I let you go, of course, we are playing West Brom at 8 p.m. this evening. What do you reckon?
3-0 win.
Score 3-0. Okay.
Let me give you
You got any
context.
scores in mind?
It will be a flattering 3-0. It would be a situation where we scored the first goal, we struggle, and then end up winning the game 3-0. African Gooner is agreeing with me. I'm done. I've accomplished my goal for the day. What?
We've got AFC 04. It says 1-0 here. Yeah, African Gooner said 3-0. I said 2-1. I think it'll be a closer game than what most people think.
They can't score goals.
Yeah, but this is Arsenal Football Club, mate. Everybody who can't score goals ends up scoring against us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only that, I just think the way that Big Sam will set them up will be very, very defensive. And we struggle to break defences down, if we're being real. You know, we don't score many goals ourselves, you know, apart from the fact that we scored 3 goals against Chelsea. I think that's the first game all season where we scored more. Oh, no. Fulham, other than that game, was the first game where we'd actually scored more than 1 goal. So, yeah, I think
United, West Ham, come on.
Yeah, Sheffield United, West Ham. Yeah, that's true. But again, they was close games, 2-1s, you know. So I don't know. It's it could be an interesting one.
You're gonna give 30 yards. What the hell?
Liverpool couldn't win against West Brom. What makes you think Arsenal will win? And African Guna says, I think he will throw everything at it if we need to break them down and risk the loss. Fair enough. If Mustafi and Bellerin play, even the under-16s will score goals. Okay, well, on that note, guys, we are going to wrap it up here. I will be back for a match reaction later. Hopefully, a happy match reaction. Otherwise, I'll be back to me normal ranting self. Egal is doing a live watch along on his channel, so please go and check that out. Would you mind if I jumped on for a bit on the watch along?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, you can come on for the preview, and you can come on for the halftime and the post-match reaction. We usually do after the football terrace, so you can come on whenever, man. It's not a big deal.
Brilliant. So there you go. You can even get some instant reaction from me and Egal. You know, we might be losing our minds, especially if we're losing the game. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Please smash up them like button. Smash that like button. Please hit that share button. And if you have not already, please go and click that subscribe button. I appreciate you all tuning in. We'll be back with a match reaction a bit later. Peace.